Hey guys, this is Matt Invictus. I'm going to be talking about Doomsday Clock issue 3. There's going to be spoilers in this video, so if you haven't read it, please stop. This is a very controversial series, and I personally struggle with it myself because I feel like this is the kind of book I should take more issue with, because I did feel like Watchmen was one of those stories that should just be left alone, not adapted or expanded on or anything. It should just exist as one 12-issue miniseries from the 80s, and that's it. So while I do still take some issue with stuff like before Watchmen and this and that especially the movie. There's this point where I just realized that a world where Alan Moore's Watchmen is never tampered with or exploited is not possible. That doing more Watchmen stories is inevitable. There's no way that stuff like this, Doomsday Clock, is never going to happen. So now my stance is more, okay, if you're going to screw around with Watchmen, if you're going to screw around with Alan Moore's work, at least make it worth our while. And I feel Doomsday Clock is on the brink of being worth our while. Maybe it's because I'm kind of starved for interesting comics that don't feel like giant middle fingers to fans. So I do have a higher tolerance for Doomsday Clock than I feel like I should. But getting into this individual issue, I feel like well, I was kind of on the fence on the first two issues. I couldn't really decide if I enjoyed them or I was satisfied with them or not. I feel like this one starts to pick things up. I feel like this is growing into kind of a guilty pleasure for me, honestly. In the end of the last issue, we learned that the comedian was alive. The beginning of this one is like a fight between him and Adrian Veidt. I think it's a decent fight scene. It's entertaining. We also find out that it's Dr. Manhattan who saved the comedian from death. Like, I guess plucked him out of time right before he hits the ground. I don't know how that's going to affect the Watchmen world now that I guess comedian's not dead, just plucked out of time. I don't know, but an interesting fight scene. The whole series is like it's been slowly building up Dr. Manhattan. He has not. I don't think he's physically appeared in the series yet, aside from small glimpses. I feel like it's doing a good job building up certain mysteries, especially with Manhattan. I'm glad they didn't go. I'm glad they're kind of like holding back on certain elements. I'm still kind of on the fence about the new Rorschach. I think he's been handled okay so far, but it could go either way. The ending of the issue is kind of an interesting moment where a new Rorschach gives Batman Walter Kovac's journal, and Batman is apparently so shocked by what he reads in it that he sticks new Rorschach in Arkham Asylum. So I thought that was Batman comes off as kind of a dick there, but again, it's like kind of a mystery why he acted that way. So I feel like that was an interesting setup. I think my favorite parts in it are like the creepy mime couple. They're new characters. I have a thing for like a creepy supervillain couples, so I probably enjoyed their scenes more than anything else. I think these are new characters done right, so I'm fine with them. There was a brief Joker tease in this issue. I don't recall if there were Joker teases in the first two, but Mr. J is going to play a part down the line. I've been interested to see them explore like the three Jokers mystery they set up a couple years ago that hasn't really been touched on so far. So that could be interesting. My issues with this issue in the series so far. I just said my issues with this issue. Sorry. I feel like there's a bit too many plot lines in it. I mean, this one had 5 or 6 different plot lines that jumped around, and that's not even all the plot lines for the series. Like Lex Luthor was only like briefly mentioned in this one. He's part of it. Superman didn't appear at all, and I was hoping to see some more of my favorite characters appear in this series down the line, but there's just so much going on, so many different characters and plot lines going on that seems less likely every issue. So it would be nice to see some of my favorites show up here, but if they don't, whatever, I guess. It is so it's such a bloated book anyways that maybe it's best that they don't introduce anything else. Oh, but there's a plot line in this issue involving Johnny Thunder of the Justice Society, which feels pretty unnecessary, pretty tacked on. I mean, it's probably building up to something, but so far it just feels completely unnecessary. It kind of grinds the story to a halt. So I feel like we could have done without that. But anyway, I think it was a decent issue, better than the first two, and I recommend this one on the basis that it's interesting to talk about in a way that doesn't feel like a massive insult to fans. It might be a bit insulting to Alan Moore, but he's a creator, not a fan, so it's slightly different. But anyway, I think you should pick this up. I think Jeff Johns is putting his all into it. He's doing a good job with the building mystery. All he has left to do now is deliver on the payoff, which it's hard to deliver on payoff. So it'll be a challenge, but it'll be interesting to see if Johns can do it. So thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe. Good night, everybody.